Hey YouTube, Underplayed here. This is part 5 of my Deepstone Crypt glitching into it series. So, in the last part, I took you through the second half of the raid. Unfortunately, I don't think we can progress any further using normal means. So instead I'm going to take it all the way back to the beginning to show you some of the progressions that we've found to make it way easier to get into the raid than last week when I put up the part 1 and part 2. Also, I'd like to show you a secret tunnel towards the very beginning of the raid. So, right now we are outside of the raid, and I'm going to show you a much simpler way of getting past the first encounter, because I think that in itself is the hardest part of that glitching into the raid, if you want to know how to get past the red screen. So, there is this thing called a data key, and the way that it works is that you're 3 pieces in an area. The area rotates every week, and once you collect all 3 pieces, you have a key which can open a chest nearby the fragment pods. And this week it's in the Eventide Ruins, and what this allows you to do is it allows you to bypass the first encounter's mechanic. And let me explain. In the first encounter, there is this weather system. Not like, not in the same level as the outside. Essentially, the cold in that area will perpetually stack up 2 tents, like up to a certain number of stacks, and at that point it will wipe you. You can remove these stacks by these red bubbles throughout the area, so you have to sort of progress from bubble to bubble, not taking too long between them. If you take too long, you will probably red screen and die. But the death mechanic is sort of like an invisible debuff on your screen, and the short-term data key, I think, takes the place of that debuff. So in effect, if we were to go into a zone with a red screen, with this data key, we would survive. This was discovered by Glitchtutotial, I believe around, I forget the exact date, but it was towards like the end of the week last week. And thank you so much to him for finding this. This makes glitching into the raid a million times easier. I'm of course going to link his channel and that video in the description. Thank you so much for that. I also would like to thank once again everyone who helped with glitching into the raid, particularly amongst the Discord and raid secrets. In addition, in part 1 I used sparrow flying to get into that zone. However, I discovered that there's this really good I almost call it Clovis Bray's personal like ski elevator, where it takes you all the way, pretty much all the way to the end of this area. It takes you all perfectly to where you need to go, and it's much better than sparrow flying, simply because you basically know where you're going. You don't have to worry about hitting stuff, etc., etc. From here, you just want to jump, and right now we're on the other side of that place we were looking at the beginning of the video. For a start of the raid, this has to be one of the most underwhelming, in all honesty, but it just gets crazier as it goes on, doesn't it? Now, from here, it's going to be just like the part 1 of this video, so we just have to load the checkpoint. I think one of the biggest issues that you'll find doing those glitches is that you will die once you load a zone because, honestly, I don't know, maybe you're moving too fast, maybe you're in a wall or something like that. I honestly couldn't find a reason, but it's super annoying. It's been in the game ever since, the launch of D1, and it's probably the bane for a lot of glitchers. Any second now. Okay, good, I haven't died. Alright, now that you're in Desolation, here, I'm just going to take a little bit of a shortcut to get above. Instead of going around, I'll go up. So, you have a few options. Glitchtutotial found a hole on the left side, and I think that I normally would liken it, but for some reason I've tried that like a couple of times and I died to the red screen even though I had the data key for some reason. So that's option number 1. Option number 2 is there's actually a hole at the very bottom of the map that if you're very proficient you can fly through, and since you're not dealing with a red screen at all, you don't have to worry about that. Option 3 which I sort of like the most, is you can test your speed. Essentially, you can sort of lag the game yourself. This is totally fine, by the way. I know people were, I received some comments about the lag itself. This is perfectly, I think, not even a problem to do. Essentially, if you go back and forth between checkpoints very fast, the game takes a couple of seconds more to load than normal. So, what you do is you simply go back and forth between checkpoints like I did in my second video, and you will be able to delay the door spawn by a few seconds. From there on, you have to drive as fast as possible through the door, through both doors, mind you. If you only go through one door, but you get closed in the second, you're really screwed. That's pretty much the one thing you don't want. And if you're fast enough and or skilled enough, you should be able to get through both doors, and you're basically in the home stretch from there on out, so long as the game doesn't glitch out and kill you. Here, let's see if I get it this time around. Alright, here goes nothing. Oh! Mission impossible, right? Great, now that we're through that, we just simply do the encounter as normal, none of that connecting to Destiny services or whatever the hell required. And as we're just driving through this section, I would like to talk to, well, to speak out to all the fans. Thank you guys so much. Everything has been blowing up ever since I did these Deepstone Crypt videos, and really, I'm quite proud of making them, to be honest. This is probably one of the best glitches, if not the best glitch I've ever done. Easily top 3, might even be the best. This raid is absolutely fucking crazy, and I've been so glad to show it to you all before it launches. I know the raid will launch on Saturday, and I think I will be streaming on day 1, perhaps trying to get that emblem. It'll be an interesting raid, to say the least. I don't envision any more videos up for the raid per se. That being said, I mean, hell, this video was a surprise. Like, the stuff that I found was just, me just casually exploring. I thought this was going to be a 4-part series, and part 4 was going to be the big one, but who knows? Who knows what you find? That's what I like about Destiny. There's so many, mysteries just lying around waiting to be found. Maybe this is what, like, Bungie was talking about when they mentioned mysteries. Also, like I said, one of the people that helped me, Obama's Burden, or a non-political nickname, did make a map for this encounter. I think it's all in the Raid Secrets Reddit. It could be very helpful for, for trying to clear it. Also, I don't know. I don't know where I went. I clearly went to a different, someplace completely different from where I'm supposed to. So at the end of this encounter is a maze, and at the end of the maze there are a few different ways you can clear it. Yeah. Now usually I'm assuming you make it to the end, you go through the door, however, the door closes. Not to worry, of course. Since we don't have to worry about the cold mechanic, we can just simply go around using this other spot that Glitchtutotial had found. I know that there is also another spot on the right side that somebody else on the Raid Secrets Discord has discovered. However, I don't know, I kind of like this spot, to be honest. It's very cool. Granted, it's a little easier with sparrow flying, but I think essentially you want to get to the very top of that hill in one way or another. Come up here, and from here you just jump up to the very top, run past the turnback, drop down, and you're essentially out of the raid. Now to actually get someplace meaningful, what you want to do is you want to go a little low and then Titan Super, hold it for as long as you can, and boom, you're completely out. Now, this is where the hole comes into play. So, The way forward is actually in that ravine all the way over there, right? And the way it works is you go through the final heat bubble, through that tunnel, and then you just sort of snake around. However, what you'll come to notice is that you can already see it over there. There is actually a weird looking point here in this tunnel, right? There's this cave in, and in this actual cave there is a wall of rocks that is covering the path, and behind that there actually is like this alternate route that you can take for some reason. And it's fully rendered. It almost looks like there is something more to this tunnel. But the strange thing is when you actually load the next checkpoint and come back, this tunnel is completely gone. So there's this tunnel that is only present in this instance of Desolation, for some weird reason or another. And the storm is present. It makes it a little hard to see, but I think it'll go away after a moment. What's interesting is that you can actually get inside of this tunnel and explore it for a little bit. You can see it's like almost fully rendered. It's fully like created. You just have to, admittedly, it's not completely done. Like there is still like some weird issues with the ground, but there are. Look, this is the wall behind. You can almost even see back inside of the map. And you essentially even shoot back inside of the map, right? And then there's this weird tunnel deviating from the path. What could this mean? And then you go to this massive room for some reason. If I had to speculate, I don't know the details of the second part of Restricted, the very last area, or perhaps one of the last areas in the raid. Could this have to do with that area? As you can see, it ends here in this other path, and unfortunately there's no load zones, there's no really anything like that. But I will show you this. Coming back out, I think I might know where the other side of this is. So, if you look up into the ceiling, there is actually a massive hole that conveniently exists so we can get in and out. Thank you, Bungie. And I want to know your opinions in the comments. What do you think this tunnel is? What do you think this path is? Could it be something scrapped? Could it be something for an exotic quest? Could it be, I don't know, something that might actually come up later in the raid? What do you guys think? Alright, so as you can see, the tunnel continues on in this direction for a time, and then sort of tapers off here. What's on the other side? Conveniently, we can actually go on top of this little glacier. However, we can't go too far because of the height barrier, so we gotta move fast. But if you move fast enough, you can actually beat the turnback, and you land right here. And this looks like the other side of that cave-in. And from here, you have this wide open area, this wide open plain. What is this? And there is no load zones. I'm assuming you're supposed to trigger some kind of load zone here, and then it allows you to, I guess, explore for a little bit. But what do you guys think this area is? Could this be relevant? Could this just be an alternate path, a scrapped area? I want to leave this. I kind of like ending the Deep Stone Crypt series here. Not as something we figured out, but as a sort of leave it to the mysteries. But I think that with this, I think I'll end it here. I'll end it right here in this valley, this entire series. Thank you so much, guys, for coming with me along this journey. Thank you so much for all your support, all your love, even the people who, who were mad at me for showing the raid early, and perhaps potentially ruining the race. I doubt it, but honestly, I do feel some regret for that. I'm sorry to all the people who I've ruined, because trust me, this raid is truly amazing, and I almost wish you guys could have experienced it earlier. But at the same time, I hope you guys enjoyed. I hope that you guys will appreciate this raid, this upcoming raid even more now that you've seen what lies ahead. And I just want to say that I'll try to make content like this later on at some point, showing all the cool aspects of Destiny, even the ones that are hidden on the surface, because this game truly is beautiful. But I think this is, I think that I'm just going to get ready for Saturday when this raid drops, and I believe my next video is going to be just a live stream, perhaps the 24-hour run for day one. Thank you all once again for coming with me on this journey. Thank you for your support. Underplayed out.